Hello everybody, it is I, Zankoku again, bringing you the second video, shot on location, shot on the same day. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna run through them. My 2019 movie year in review lists, and we already went through the most disappointing movies of 2019, and now I am going into the most surprising movies of 2019, movies that caught me off guard, that I went in thinking, oh, this is going to be bad, but end up being actually quite surprising, quite pleasant, and quite good. So let's get right into that list. Number 5 is Joker, and Joker surprised me because let's face it, DC has not been having a good go at it the last couple of years with their movies, and I was concerned about how they were going to handle this movie, and I was surprised that they were able to do such a great job with the tone of the movie it is, and definitely not the traditional type of comic book movie that you would expect. And honestly, I think it did a great job of skating the line between a sympathetic guy and one that almost starts to justify his actions. You never get to that point. You always still feel that this, even though you feel bad for him, is like, no, this you're going too far. You can't really do this stuff. But Joaquin Phoenix, beautiful job. The tone is dark and sad and very, very bleak, and yet it works, and it actually does have some levity and funny moments within it. But yes, it's definitely a dark, brooding, psychological type of film, and it worked, and I liked it, and I was surprised that they were able to pull it off the way they did. So number 5, Joker. Number 4 is a comedy movie. Like, let's say, when I talk about comedies and say, oh, the funniest movies in the last couple of years have been Marvel movies, something's going on with the comic book, or well, not with the comedy genre. And so when I saw the preview of this movie, I thought, this looks interesting. I'm going to give it a try, and I ended up watching it a couple times to make sure that, it is as good as I thought it was. And it is, and that is the movie Stuber. And look, say what you will, the sort of mismatched opposite cop buddy type movies have always been enjoyable to me ever since like Lethal Weapon, and maybe even before that. I just really like it. And let's say just Dave Bautista. Honestly, his performances in Guardians of the Galaxy and in this, I really enjoy them. I thought he hits it. I think he has some great comedic timing, and I'm actually interested in seeing that movie where he's the the CIA guy, and he's got like the little girl. I mean, look, this movie's not reinventing the wheel. It is very cliche, but yeah, I still like the dichotomy, the yin and the yang between the beta male character and the ultra alpha police officer. And honestly, there are some hilarious moments in this movie that had me laughing out loud, and thoroughly enjoyed it, even on multiple viewings. So you know what? I'm not gonna apologize. Stuber, I think it's worth checking out. So anyways, there's number 4. Going in number 3, and look, horror remakes generally are hit and miss, and most of the time they're missed. But sometimes you'll get some that really do wonders. And this one, kind of as a sort of a reverse of what kind of happened in the most disappointing movies, this one had an ending that pretty much made the movie for me, and that's my number 3 pick, Pet Sematary. I just love this movie. I love the ending. I love the tone. I love the creepy atmosphere. And I like the little switcheroo juxtaposition that they kind of do. Yes, the trailer ruins it, but if you can watch this without okay, wow. Apparently, filming in sunlight has its own disadvantages. My camera actually overheated, and it will automatically shut off if it does, so it's kind of a nice safety thing. So while my camera was cooling off, I decided to cool off in my brother's pool. Anyways, but back to what I was saying, if you don't have the disadvantage of watching the trailer beforehand, I think that you would probably have a much better opinion of the Pet Sematary remake. And honestly, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I love the ending, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Most surprising movies of 2019, going on to number 2, and this movie is a sequel of a movie from decades ago, and that is Doctor Sleep. And look, I will be completely honest here. I was not the biggest fan of The Shining. Actually, I think the lore around the movie is more interesting than the movie itself. However, Doctor Sleep is a very, very entertaining movie. Yes, it's not very scary or horrifying, but I do like the whole, how you would say, chess game aspect. The move, the counter move, the strike, the counter strike. I mean, the villains are villainous, and the heroes are heroic, and you're actually rooting in this movie. It is very entertaining. We have actual character growth, and Ewan McGregor does a great job in this movie. And look, like, I was going into it, I heard mixed things, and when I saw it, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Very solid movie. I'm surprised it did as poorly at the box office as it did. I mean, I guess maybe people were expecting something more terrifying, but dang, it's a solid movie. And so there you have it. Number 2, Doctor Sleep. And that brings us to number 1, most surprising movie of 2019. And look, after, like, you know, remakes, reboots, reimagining, there can be some pretty bad ones. I mean, Black Christmas, oh my god. Ugh. Charlie's Angels, oh my goodness. Ghostbusters, yeah, okay. But this movie, to me, is the textbook on how you make a reboot, remake, reimagining. This is how you do it. This is it done right, and that is Child's Play. Look, and when I went into Child's Play, I was like, okay, you know, I'm hoping for just, you know, some good slashery goodness. And what I did not expect was to see a very well-made, absolutely super entertaining, fun slasher horror movie. And this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You pay respect to the original while changing it up, modernizing it where you can, still keeping the spirit of the original, but doing something different with it. And honestly, I loved it. I loved Mark Hamill. I mean, sure, there's all these people who are like, oh, no, it's Brad Dourif or nothing. I'm like, well, you know what? If you're going to be that narrow, you're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. And look, I like Brad Dourif, but I think Mark Hamill did a great job. I think this movie is excellent. Honestly, I put it down as the best horror movie of 2019 by far. And I will stand by that assertion all day, all night, because they did just such a phenomenal job with that movie. It deserves all the praise, and all the criticism can get, you know, out of there. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved watching it multiple times, and I have a review of it. Link in the description. So there you have it. My top 5 most surprising movies of 2019. Number 5, Joker. Number 4, Stuber. Number 3, Pet Sematary. Number 2, Doctor Sleep. And number 1, Child's Play. Wow, there's a bunch of horror movies in this list. I mean, am I having that low of an opinion of modern day horror movies? Yeah, kind of, but there have been some good ones. But suffice it to say, I want to know what you think. Tell me in the comments what were the most surprising movies that you saw that came out in 2019. And I will talk to you later with the finale, the best movies of 2019. But until then, remember to stay sexy, internet, and stay cool. Because, yeah, it is hot and the sun is just... I might just jump back in the pool. I don't know. Anyways, cha-ha.